Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to another edition of Awesomecallstrading.com. Well, traders, right now I'm not in any trades, but what I am looking while I'm doing this webinar, and before I started, I told the traders in the chat room there is a stock that's in play right now. It's called LVGO, and it was on our list. It was our number two pick. And about right here, it was sitting at $20.30. And I felt very strongly this was going to take out high of the day, which was right here at 2052. And within about 3 minutes, it hit 2060, and I don't see it stopping. I think it'll continue higher. My goal now is to take it to 21. And sometimes traders, sometimes they make mistakes in the chat room, and or the play didn't really work out. So sometimes they're red. These are the kind of trades I try to get them out to make them money. See, Liam, it's now 2065 while you're still staring at the chart. You could have made 40 cents on 200 shares, 300 shares, 120 bucks right there. So this one I do see it going higher. And this was our number two pick in the chat room. And this was an incredible call. I think it was called the day as far as I was concerned. LVGO received a contract worth $60 million. In 2020, they're going to get about $25 million worth of that up, and it's going to go on their 2020 quarterly revenue for next year. It's an incredible play. For the chat room, all you had to do was $18 or $17.75 to $18 and under. The stock was going to go through 20 today. If you wanted to short the stock, I had no problem for you to short the stock initially. Look for the pop at open, scale in short. Palmer did this. He took 300 or 400 shares and he shorted it. My goal was to take the stock down to 17.75. Anything under 18 was a buying opportunity, and the stock was an all-day move to the upside. And as you can see, I got the stock going to $21 a share. This is also a broken down stock. If you look at the last 20 days, it has room to fill to $22.50, close to 23, and fill this gap. Again, if anybody needed money and they were not trading well today, they could have took this thing at $20.35, and the stock is now $20.70. 1,000 shares, you make $300, and you're done for the day. Anyway, really good setup for us. We traded this very, very, very well today. I did very well in this trade myself, and I just wish I could have stayed in it with the size I had. The next stock that we did was a stock called XENT and LVGO and PFNX. The next one is XENT. Now, EXENT was very different. This one did not hit primary endpoint, was not met. What if you typically on a phase 1, 2, and 3, we could trade it accordingly, but this was very interesting for all of us in the chat room because when you actually read through the report, the stock it was really interesting because it was not a phase. It was actually a study. It was a test. And tests and studies get usually bought up on the gap because they're not they're starters for the company. They're not really the main. They're telling the company like, hey, if you let's just test this a little bit, see what we're at. So when we go to phase one, we already know to do it correctly. So it's kind of a pre-test test of a test. But people were treating it this morning in pre-market like it was a phase two or phase three. It just they clobbered the stock. So to us in the chat room, we were long at the stock at 14 to go long, and I wanted 15 at the open or more, and then I wanted a 1.5 point pullback. Well, the stock ended up flying all the way to 1650, fully almost gap filling, and then I looked for a 1.5 point pullback, and it came all the way back down to 15 and found a bottom, and now it's it. So that was a pretty simple trade there. The next one we did was another bio stock, was PFNX. This one got FDA approval, but in Awesome Calls Trading, especially on the upcoming one-on-one webinar that I teach, I really go into certain stocks and certain criteria. But FDA approvals in our world are, unless you're Regeneron or something else, to me, it's just a short. And I called this one out. I gave it value. It closed at $7.51. I said the stock was worth $7.75. So I called for a short pre-market and at the open to 775. I also think they'll do an offering between today and 72 hours. That's why they're holding the 8 spot. as you can see, and the stock ended up going down to 777. And this is just something that we do in the room. You have to be a part of our room to understand this. If you can find shares, you could have took 2,000 shares and made over $2,800 for your first trade in the room. If you had 1,000 shares, 9,000 buying power, you could have scored $1,300 on this trade. Very easy setup, easy to read. There's nothing to do about it. Just FDA approval, slam dunk, short stock. All I had to do was set the price, and I knew where the stock would come. The next one we did was AYX. This was a nice, beautiful stock. If you remember, AYX has been clobbered, and this is why I was like really happy to see finally an analyst come out. This stock was sitting, I'll show you 20 days ago where it was. You see that? You want to see 30 days ago? It's crazy. Look at that. $148 a share, and it just got torn to crap. And so we basically, it's like Ulta. At some point, you find bottom, you bottom curl, and you go long. It's like Ulta. It's just similar to Ulta. But today was special because we finally got it was actually a tier 3, tier 4 analyst, Wedbush. They gapped it up right here, and they called for a $135 price target on the stock, I believe. So it closed at 110, and it was gapping up at pre-market all the way up to 114. So I called for a short at 114 with room to 115 to add. There's your 115. I said the stock would come down to $112 and then bottom curl and go back to highs. And you don't believe me? I'll show you the trade. Ding, 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 ding. AYX right here. This stock I would nibble short 114, give it room to 116. It hit 115.50 like clockwork. And I said the stock will come down to 112, bottom curl, and go back to 115 to 117. You want to see it? Ding, 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 ding. Scripted as shit. Are you ready? Here it is. There's your short. Ding, 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 ding. Slam it down. Pull it. There's 112. Missed it by 12 cents. Bottom curl and move all the way up between 115 and 117. Bam, 116 a share. See how simple that was? Clockwork. Everything scripted in our chat room. The next one that we did, this was a fun stock to trade. XENT, PMNT, Longo, AYX. We did a stock called Shop. Now, Shop, I had, you all know I love to play Shop almost every day. And for Shop, I had this going to, I set my areas of 330 pop at the open, pull it. I wanted 320 bottom curl back to 330. And I'll show you the stock. Here's Shop right here. Shop, stock flat. I want to pop towards open at 330, pull back to 320, and then a 10-point move to the upside. Okay, this was not an all-day short. It was not an all-day fader. It wasn't called like that. It was simply hit the. It's like a magnet. 330 pop, 320 pull, 10-point move to the upside. That's your trade. So if you come over here, and there's Shop. Ding, 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 ding. It hit $329.83. Pulled. There's your pull. 322. I wanted 320. Bottom curl. Go long. 10 points. It hit 8. 331. Next one we did was Match.com. Match. This is a social website where people meet each other. Really nice trade here. This was gapping up. This one caught 2 upgrades. So anything in the 75 area was a buying opportunity for everyone in the chat room. But first I wanted people to short the stock. So I called for a short at the open. I wanted room to 80 to pop in case it did push out. So that way you could buy, if you wanted to trade 500 shares, you take 250, 300, you start it. I wanted to pull right at the open. It was gapping up, as you can see, from 74.60 all the way to 77.80. That's 3 points or more. I told everyone to short the stock, look for a pullback to 75 area or under, and there it goes. It bottomed at 75.70, and then bottom curl, and then take it back up to pre-market highs. That's exactly how I scripted the stock. Really good play. Here it is. At 78 area, short the stock to 75 area, then back to 78. Remember, the higher it pops, the more the fade. Otherwise, if it hits the 75 area, we're going back to 78. Scripted, 78, not 78.22. I mean, you can't. I mean, this is just incredible shit we do here every day. I mean, this is no joke, but it's what we do, you know. Another nice little play that we did today was Uber. I really like this play. Uber's a very thick stock, so you can go size. Citi came out today and upgraded the stock to $45 price target. It was gapping up a little too much. It actually topped off right here at 30.75. I called for a short in pre-market and add on any pop towards 31, I believe, on Uber right here. And I wanted the stock to come down to $30. I told everyone short the stock to 30 and under. Anything 30 and under, I would be a buyer on it with size 30 and under. And ding, 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 ding. Here is your short right there. And 30 and under, and it hit $29.89. So if you hit 30 and under, you walked it right back up close to 30.60 up there. So Uber was a very, very nice play. Let's see. Netflix. I want to tell you about Netflix. I've been a swing advocate on this one into earnings since the 250 bottom. When Disney came out and laid out their plans. This was your buy. I told everyone, and I have been telling everyone, and I keep telling everyone, and I told you in the webinar, this is a $280 to $285 stock. It's going to go up there all the way to next week's earnings. No ands, ifs, or buts. So Evercore today decided. Now Evercore is a tier 3 firm. They're not up there, but some analysts had his burr up his ass, and everyone else is in the 400s on the stock, including Goldman. But this guy this morning, I don't know what he was thinking, but he had a burr up his ass, and he wanted to short the stock, and he said it was worth 300 from 380. I think he wants to just cover his ass. So if it stocks to 280 to 290, he looks like a hero. And if it goes past that, he won't look so bad. And I think that's all it is. It's just it's to make him look good, because everyone else is in the 400s. So I think he's just playing that. Hey, if it miss, at least I could say. So to me, the way I look at a reading like that, it's irrelevant. I know what you're doing. You're playing a game, and you're betting the odds. You're not doing any investigating work. I mean, it's all bullshit. And I even said, I don't think this downgrade has any much weight being Evercore. It's a tier 3 firm, so any pullback in the opens to 267 is a buying opportunity. The stock will see 275 plus in the end. You see how I wrote that? There's no end to. You can't argue with me. I mean, you don't fuck with me. Seriously. When I see shit like that, I could spot out. I know what he's doing. I know analysts like the back of my hand. And I know what he's doing. He's just fucking around. He's trying to cover his ass. It's like the Tesla analysts who try to short the stock and then they cover themselves. And after you get a feel for this for 15, 16 years, you know what they're doing. So, and he gives you all this hoopla about it could hurt. Look, see, it will likely hurt expectations. Excuse me. Stock's at 280.85. So, what I've told people to do is just buy the stock when it hit this 255 area and buy 280 calls, 285 calls. There are a lot of people in this trade right now. I'll show you Nicholas, one of our great traders in the room. He's been playing his stock per my notes, per my idea, and he is right here. Hold on. I'll show it to you. Notifications. And this is Nicholas down here. I was really impressed with his. Here it is. And he is long at 258.41. He's already up 18 points in the money. You see this, traders? This is what I do. But I give you an analysis of why it's going to do what it does. I don't just say, oh, yeah, it's going to go, yeah, it's going to do that. No, I don't fucking do that. I explained to Nicholas and many others like Nicholas. Now, it's up to you to take the trade. If you have the patience and you don't want to day trade, you just want to take 250 shares and just let it ride, look at this. If he took 200 shares, he's up $3,600 in less than a week. That's a pretty fucking good move. And he's got a limit order ready to go at 280. So again, this stock has taken a beating, a massive beating. It can only go up. Okay, so I do love this stock. Anyway, let's see. No problem, Nicholas. You deserve it, boss. The next one that we have is I could do RNG. Nevada was pretty good. The problem on Nevada, it didn't come down as much as I wanted to. Let me see what I put on notes. Nevada was a good play, though. Nevada, I will nibble short here, 185, pop it open to 187. I wanted to pull back to 182.50. And I always tell her, remember, this always squeezes, so give it room. And so Leanna did this one really good. I think she nailed this perfect on the video. It actually popped right at the open. You could see right there. We were short here at this 185 with room to 187. So you had a 186 average and it pulled and it still paid you. Now, once it found the base, there was no way it was going to pull down. You can see right here. And I figured it would squeeze again. Fire called a double topping up here at 188. And the stock was falling slowly sold off. But still a very good play in the chat room. I have to be honest on TDD. You know, I trade this every day. One of my great traders, Tanya, pointed this out to me today. This one didn't really work the way we wanted it to, so I had to ding myself on my rating. She pointed this out. We really wanted TDD to come down to 182.50, but the market held up pretty strong. This held up as well, and this has already been a beaten down stock, so it didn't slap more than 188. And we had to cover our short position. I did call for a pop at open to 190, which was perfectly laid out to 192 and a scale in short. I was looking for it to break to low of the day, take out that pre-market low and hit 182.50 and long it for 10 points, but it held itself and just revamped right back up to 195. So there's nothing you can do on that. It is what it is. So I'm glad that Tanya pointed that out so I could be more on point on that stock. All right. Other than that, it was a great day. We played Ring. Ring was another one of our trades this morning. We played that really nice. We had to wait about 90 seconds. We were looking for 178 pop at the open. I'll show it to you on Ring right here. Ring. We wanted 178 at the open and then a bottom curl to 166. So we had to wait. In the morning, it pulled to 168. That's really not what I was. I wait for the squeeze because it squeezed really hard on Friday. So I was prepared, like, okay, I'm not touching this until it squeezes first. So even though it was a good short and you could get a few bucks, I was really looking for that squeeze to 178, and it hit 178. Then it sold off, and it only came down to 170. But it still was a good trade if you waited for that 178. And before I go, again, I like LVGO to go higher. I do think this will go up the next couple of days. I do think 21 is in the cards. And it's really being nice. It's operating good. And if you were in our chat room and you bought that, should be good. This was just a magnificent trade. I mean, this is truly the trade of the day. And here's a flag breakout. See, this is what we show traders in the room. This should pop and get to 70, take out that high today. And I want you to see how broken this stock is over the last 30 days. And you can see where it's going. I mean, it's just solid. This is such a beautiful trade. It's going to fill this gap here. So anyway, it should hit that 21 spot before the close. And if it does, I think everyone will be happy. So just remember one thing, traders, before I go. You know, if you're red or you're red in another room or you're just not happy and you come in here, I will always find you something to do during the day. I'll find you swing trades. I'll find you bottom plays. I'll find you really great ideas. I'll teach you. I'll educate you. So when you come the next day, you'll be ready to perform. But trades like this, you know, this is what we do. We find these things. And if you look, nobody even had LVGO on their list. Not one chat room was looking for it unless they came from our room. Then all they did was copy it, paste it, and put it in their room and taking credit for it. But and you could see how thin it was. There was really no eyes on the stock. As soon as we started talking about it pre-market, eyes became everywhere. And it was just a matter of a pop, gap fill, 18 and under, bottom curl, all day move to the upside. Beautiful trade. Well done. And that is today's pre-market. I'm sorry, this is today's live recap webinar. Thank you for joining us for October 7th, 2019. And we will do this every day this week. And let us not forget, something really great is happening next week. That's right. It is coming. And the long-awaited earnings starts next. I do my one-on. It's going to be so great, too, because I'll do my one-on-one on the 13th to explain earnings. It's going to be great. And then the banks start on Tuesday, and it's just endless. Netflix is the 16th, and it just goes on. iRobot, Chipotle, Boeing, Nokia, 3M, Conquest. We traded all of these. It is going to be the most incredible time to day trade. With Christmas holidays coming up, everyone's going to have new numbers. Retail's going to probably be up. It's going to be phenomenal. XL on X. You are going to have so much points to trade daily all the way up until Christmas. It is going to be incredible. We got Pine Trust coming, Cigna, Shaw, Charter. You know I love Charter. I got Domino's Pizza coming tomorrow. I mean, come on. And Levi and Helen of Troy. Woo, I'm all over that stuff. Oh, it is going to be amazing. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can pop this LVGO. It looks like it wants more. I want to see if I get it to take out high today while I'm doing finishing up this webinar here. It's only 21 minutes. Here it goes. Okay, so I want to see if I can take this out. Imagine if you weren't in our room down here when I told you to go long. I was telling traders before I went on break to long in at $19.80 right here. I said it's going to take out high today. I don't just tell people. I'm like I get a client in here. Hey, I'm red today. Can you have something? Boom, take this stock. It'll fly. Come on, baby. Push. Wait for that one buyer to come in. Got a nice wall here. I'm just waiting. Let me see. Let me look at level 2. See if they're lined up. I got a lot of stock. See that? I got a lot of stock. All right here. Big wall right here. I got no sellers in here though. See? Nobody's dumping. And I got buyers trying to line up. Look at 17,000 shares at 2050. Look at, you can pick them up. See? They just pick them up. Watch them. See that 17? You're going to pick his ass up. Let's see if he gets filled. If it hits 49, they take him. 18,000 shares. Look. Let's see if he gets filled. They're holding. I'm not filling his ass. I feel bad for the dude. Oh, he just took it off. He just took it off. See that? Bam! Woo! Woo! Look at that. Live, traders. Live. Woo! That's why they wouldn't take him. At 17,000, they're like, You see that? So if you were in our chat room, and I told you when I started, long the stock, you would have made at least 50, 60 cents just trading the stock live in the room while I was doing a webinar. Can't be read in our room, traders. Doesn't exist unless you choose to. Okay? All right, that was fun. I'm glad I did that. And thank you very much for joining us on today's webinar. Isn't that beautiful? $20.80.